Gonna test out a robot vacuum today, and more specifically, can it clean up the floor of a workshop? I know it can vacuum up Cheerios, but screws? I don't know. Let's find out. So this model is the Kyvol E20. It has 150 minutes of battery life. Works with Google and Alexa. A manual for the cleaner and the app. A remote. I think that's for setting up a barrier. Here's some brushes and a filter. Remote looks nice. It's interesting it has a clock on it. It has a clean design. This is a glass top, not plastic. Looks nice. I'm going to be using the E20, but it looks like they also have an E30 and 31. I attached the two whiskers up there. I don't know what they're called. You should call them whiskers. And the base is here. Let me put it on the base. I left this floor as dirty as it was. I cleaned up a few of the big things, but we're gonna see what happens when this runs, and I'll do a sweep after it's done and see what it didn't pick up. Let's get going. I got the app, and it's not loud at all, but maybe the suction hasn't turned on. It's pretty quiet, considering. Sounds like it picked up a screw. So it looks like it's just going randomly. Just got an alert, says side brush issue. This fishing line was dangling on the floor and it got caught. Okay, that's a problem. Loose end of carpet. Oh, and it went under the game. It made it through. Oh my gosh, made it through there. Made its way into my office. I didn't check for cables, but so far it seems to be doing okay. I ran it twice. Here's what it picked up the first time it went through the basement. Here's the second time. Then I did my own sweep to see what it left. Surprisingly, this was all that was left behind, and the floor area of the workshop's pretty large. Now I'll test it out on the main floor. This remote works really well, and it's actually more convenient to use than the app, I find. You can control the vacuum like you would a remote control car. You can drive it to wherever you want. So if you wanted to sit down and drive it to certain spots in the room, you could do that. It didn't seem to have any problem with certain obstacles like the floor mat coming up. It just went over it anyway. Profile was low enough, it had no trouble going underneath furniture. Sometimes you'd see a pattern that it was vacuuming in, and other times you just seemed random. I don't know, I never figured it out. But you can tell when it's cleaning a perimeter. And in fact, the remote has a button. If you just wanted to go around the edges of the whole room, it'll do that. I threw some corn chips down here to try out the spot cleaning feature. It didn't work all that great. You drive the vacuum over to the spot you want to clean, you hit the button, and it goes in circles wider and wider. It seemed to go off center. So I tried it again, and it worked a little bit better. You can schedule it to run at night automatically. I'll do mine at like 1 a.m. And if I don't find that it's collected much in the bin, I'll decrease the schedule maybe every other day or every 3 days. It ran for about 75 minutes on the main floor before the battery drained too low. You're supposed to get 150 minutes, but I think it varies based on how much carpet you're going over or maybe how many obstacles there are. But when the battery goes low, it drives back to the base. Sometimes it'll get lost and just be sitting in another room, so you'll have to bring it back to the base. They tell you to empty it and clean it after every use, but after a while it seems to get most of the debris around the house. You don't have to do it that much. A couple other features that this has, let's say you don't want it to go into a room or something like that. They give you this strip of magnetic material. It's beveled and fairly low profile. You use a double stick tape and put that down and it will stop at that strip or whatever. Also, like let's say you have stairs and you don't want it to go off. We'll pretend that this workbench is stairs. I'll hit play, there we go. And it should stop before it falls off. It senses a drop. And there it goes. So it won't fall off the workbench, which is nice. But that way you don't have to worry about it falling downstairs and destroying itself. So I'll push home, it should find its way back to the base. I don't know how this works, because I don't think it really maps out your space. Somehow it must be some infrared lights or something like that. Anyway, so would I buy this? Would I recommend this? For me, no. And let me tell you why. The next model up from this has a feature where it can map out your room and plan an efficient route. For 50 bucks more, you can get the E30. To me, 50 bucks, totally worth it. If you're on a budget and you're just doing a small room, no problem, just get the cheap one. But I would definitely recommend spending a bit more, that it can clean so much more efficiently and not miss spots, because in my living room it had to recharge before it can get everything. So this base model would not work for me. I'd recommend buying the better one. Now this does still work. It's just going to miss a few spots in a floor plan as big as mine. So I would say this one is good for maybe small apartments and small homes, if you'd consider that what you have as a small home, or if you're just using it in a small office space or something like that. But if you have big hallways and rooms that it's going to branch off into, you'd want to get a more expensive model than this. But it's great. It picked up way more than I thought it would. It didn't get caught under any furniture. Again, I would highly recommend spending more money, not get the base model, get one of the more expensive ones. But thank you for watching, and if you have any questions about this, I'll do my best to answer, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Little side note, I've been wanting one of these vacuums for years. My wife never wanted to buy one. After using it, she thinks it's awesome, and she's surprised she waited so long to get one. If you want more information about it or pick one up yourself, the links are in the video description. Next videos I have coming up are a Bosch dishwasher install with some weird voodoo going on inside. You really want to check that one out. Kitchen sink faucet install, and I think I wasted my money on the bells and whistles on that model. And lastly, an Ego battery powered lawnmower. We're going to check that out. See you guys soon. Take care.